What's going on, guys? This is Adam Mamawala, and here's my ghost story. So happy Halloween. I had a real-life ghost encounter when I was a kid, and I want to share it with you. As some of you know, I grew up in the Midwest, and before I was born, my parents lived in Wisconsin. That's where my sister was born. And they moved to Illinois, and they bought this house from the children of an elderly couple who had lived there. So it was an old man and an old woman. The old man had had a heart attack and died in the house, and his wife died within the next few months. So my parents bought the house from them. No one ever told me about this. And when I was a baby, apparently I was in my crib, in my room, and my sister was in there goofing around. And she goes into my closet and she peels up like a piece of the carpet and finds like $700 in cash just sitting there. So she goes out to show my parents, and they're like, "Where'd you get that from?" She says, "Oh, I got it in his room." And it was so old that the money was like yellowing. So my parents thought to themselves, this is kind of weird, but I'm sure it's probably just the people who lived here before us, because a lot of elderly people who lived through the Depression didn't trust banks and that sort of thing. They probably hid money and just forgot about it. So at the time, I guess my parents were like, well, I mean, we could call their kids, but we're not going to do that. That'd be weird. It's our house now. Like, we'll just keep the money and put it in the bank. So no one ever told me about that story. And when I was about 7 or 8, I think I was in 2nd grade, I had this really vivid nightmare that I can still remember now, where I was being chased around by this creepy old man. And what I remember is that he was wearing a suit and half his face was really horribly scarred. And it was really creepy. He wasn't saying anything, but he was just following me around. So I remember waking up, and I sat up in bed, and from what I recall, through the closet door walked like a silhouette of this same guy with half his face messed up, just staring at me. And I've never known if I was awake or I was still dreaming, but I started screaming, and as soon as my mom came into the room, whatever it was disappeared. So I told my mom about it, and she was like, "Oh, it's fine, it's just a nightmare, you can come sleep in our room tonight if you want to." But what she never told me until we moved out of that house and moved to New Jersey, which is probably a good thing because I never would have gone back in that room, is that the old man who lived in the house and died there before we bought it was a World War II veteran who'd had half his face horribly scarred in the war. So that's my ghost story. I don't know if he had unfinished business to find money or if that's just a really, really weird coincidence, but I wanted to share that with you guys, and hopefully you'll think it's as creepy as I always have, but I'm glad I don't live there anymore. All right, happy Halloween. Later.